Every night, millions of people look for a last-minute trick to fall asleep, scrolling for a specific hack that can instantly shut the brain off at 11 p.m. We invest in specialized pillows, isolated supplements, and evening rituals. But when used as standalone solutions without a broader routine, these isolated remedies rarely deliver deep, restorative sleep. When these fixes fail, the resulting frustration triggers physical tension and clock watching, creating a cycle of bedtime anxiety that keeps the brain alert for hours. Biological rest is the final outcome of a 24-hour behavioral countdown. Human biology is governed by the circadian rhythm, an ancient internal clock that regulates everything from core temperature to daily hormone fluctuations. Modern schedules often conflict with this rigid biology. We wake up early during the week, but stay up late and sleep in on weekends, forcing the body to constantly reset its timing. This shift creates a condition called social jet lag. This 3.5-hour gap produces the same physiological exhaustion as flying across 3 time zones every single Friday and Sunday. Realigning these internal systems requires a radically consistent daily schedule to ensure the body can anticipate and prepare for rest. Because the internal clock is so rigid, the quality of your sleep tonight depends on the exact moment you wake up this morning. Synchronizing this system requires a specific wake time, one that remains identical every single day, regardless of whether it's a Tuesday or a Sunday. Here's the mechanism behind that requirement. When morning sunlight hits the eye, your melatonin levels drop to 0. This event starts a 14 to 16-hour countdown timer in the brain. Regulating your morning light and wake time acts as a biological anchor, setting the necessary conditions for your body to feel tired exactly when you need to sleep later tonight. As the day continues, afternoon choices can quietly interfere with the biological timer you set earlier that morning. This line chart shows why afternoon caffeine is a problem. Because it has such a long half-life, caffeine consumed in the mid-afternoon remains highly active in the nervous system 6 to 8 hours later at bedtime. Physical activity also influences the cycle. While regular exercise shortens the time needed to fall asleep, vigorous workouts should be finished early enough to allow heart rate and core temperature to return to baseline. Using strict cutoffs for stimulants and intense exercise protects the sleep pressure that naturally builds in the background throughout the day. The human brain requires a transition period. It cannot shift instantly from high-stress daytime tasks into immediate sleep. Bright overhead lights and blue-rich light from electronic screens signal the brain that it is still daytime, which directly delays the production of nighttime melatonin. You can mitigate this by initiating a digital sunset, dimming the lights and stepping away from screens to signal that the day is ending. Stacking low-stress behaviors in dim light, like reading or gentle stretching, creates a conditioned reflex that helps the body power down automatically before you get into bed. Even with a stable routine, there will be nights when sleep simply does not arrive. In these moments, specialists recommend a technique called stimulus control. Lying awake while watching the clock can train the brain to associate the bed with frustration rather than rest. The protocol is straightforward. If you are still awake after 20 minutes, leave the bedroom. Engage in a quiet activity in another room and only return when you feel a genuine physical need to sleep. Maintaining this strict separation prevents bedtime anxiety and ensures your brain associates the mattress exclusively with falling asleep. When you repeat this 24-hour cycle over several weeks, the physiological benefits begin to compound as the body stops fighting its own internal clock. As consistency increases, your sleep latency drops, and your periods of restorative, slow-wave sleep become more frequent. If a strict routine fails to improve your rest, it may signal an underlying physical condition, like sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome. While behavioral adjustments fix many common sleep problems, persistent physical disorders require professional medical evaluation and targeted clinical treatment. You don't have to overhaul your entire life or buy expensive equipment tonight to start seeing results. Just commit to tomorrow morning. Set your alarm for the same time you plan to wake up every day, and let your internal clock handle the rest.